Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu. It's Thursday. I don't have any scheduled shows today, so I am going to dedicate the entirety of my time until I don't want to anymore, which might happen, to blasting through a whole shitload of treasure hunt shows. And that's a good thing because we have a whole shitload of treasure hunt shows to blast through. Both first episode airing things and a couple of repeats that we want to check out. Yes, I know people are requesting Tower of God episode 2. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm not dropping it. Jesus. God. Okay. We'll get there. Same with things like Arte. I'm probably gonna watch episode 2. If I say in the video that I'm probably gonna watch episode 2. If I say something more vague like I don't really think I'm gonna continue this, but I wouldn't be opposed to watching more, I'm probably not gonna watch more. But if I said I'm gonna watch more, I'm gonna watch more. It'll be fine. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just like there are a lot of comments about like, where's Tower of God? Jesus, give it to us. It's like, oh God, okay, jeez, calm. Um, we'll get there. So, we got a whole shitload of shows, and I have a feeling this is gonna be a day of a lot of sifting through trash to find maybe a couple of gems, but we'll see. We got a large pile. So, we're going to continue doing what we've been doing, which is essentially going on the release order listed on Mal, which may not necessarily be actually accurate for the actual release order that actually comes out. I know, it's fucking crazy. But following that order, we end with our next show being Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle. Alright, cool. First thing that caught my attention was, oh hey, it's Project Number 9, that studio that I don't know about anything about at all, again, because every time that I watch the first episode of one of Project Number 9 shows, I'm just like, well, I don't really care about it. So I never end up with any kind of background in understanding what the studio is capable of, because I've never found any of their shows appealing. But that may change, because the second thing that caught my attention on the Mal page was the director, somebody that I am actually quite familiar with. It is director Masato Jinbo, who directed the entirety of Prisma Ilia Kaliad Fate Kaliad Liner Prisma Ilia, yeah, Zwei and Dry. So in the 2-1 and the 3-1. And that's a show that I really like. I think it's really good. Watch it. Unless you're really turned off by Loli Yuri, then don't watch it at all. But if you're not turned off by that, then watch the fuck out of Prisma Ilia. What are you doing with your life? Get to it. And then the other thing that Masato Jimbo has done that is personally like resonant and that I care about is he also directed Isekai Shokudo, which is, I would say, one of my favorite shows. It's simple and it doesn't do anything super crazy, but I really like it. Not for any specific reason, it's just a super nice time, and I really enjoy the flow of it and the feel of it. And notably, both of those shows came out of Silverlink, so I didn't really know this, but it seemed like Masato Jimbo was working pretty seriously for Silverlink and isn't anymore, so okay, cool. But we're here for Project Number 9's Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle, which is a lot of numbers in one, like, studio and title of piece, but whatever. We've got White Cat Project Zero Chronicle. It's a game adaptation. I looked up the game because I was like, alright, what kind of game? It's a gacha-fied action RPG for mobile. Alright, sure. Apparently also, this just came up on the first page of Google results. Otherwise, I wouldn't mention it. Apparently, they also got sued. The company that produced this game, Colopple, I don't know. They got sued out the wazoo for like 40 million by Nintendo for allegedly stealing their particular type of joystick controls that Nintendo was using for their phone-based games. So, whoops. Neat. That's basically all I could find about Shironeko Project. I stayed away from anything regarding plot and things, but it's a gacha-fied game. So, I did see one picture which had like 3,000 characters, which makes sense because it's a gacha-fied game, and new characters that you can add to your party or your team or whatever are how you continue getting people to put the money into the gacha. Otherwise, why would they? Problem with gacha games, that type of like, we got all these characters with not very fleshed out stories that don't necessarily intersect at a lot of places, but they're there if you like them, and if you resonate with them, maybe you'll pay us to try and roll one of them in our ridiculous loot box system. Problem. in anime, you like to have characters that are fully fleshed out and like have motivations and stuff. And usually in a gacha, you get like a couple of those, and then a faceless wall of nobodies who you don't really care about, but have every particular possible arrangement of like hair color, personality, kind of, and then boob size. Those are the like the important things, right? For getting all your gotcha characters, at least on the female side. On the male side, you got all the different varieties of Ikemen and whatever. But that's just conjectural because I don't really know. This could be fucking great. Again, Masato Jimbo, he's a good director. I like some of his stuff. This could be really good. He could elevate the medium. He could take this video game and turn it into something wonderful. Hell, maybe it already has a great story and I'm just shitting on it because I'm biased and I am stereotyping it as a video game adaptation. It's quite possible. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot more than I should be. I promised myself before I got this started that I would actually, like, jump into the video relatively quickly, and now we're 8 minutes into recording, so that worked. Whoops. Let's go ahead and watch the episode 1 of Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle and see if we just have to turn it off because it's trash, or if it actually is okay, or if, hey, maybe it'll be great. I've got the episode up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you'd like to sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you can totally do that. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you now. Hello, Katakawa. Is Funimation next? It is! Woo! It's the little things. English lyrics. Okay. Okay. Shironeko and Kuroneko. A muddy black cat fell in love with the white cat. And the white cat was on the throne? And now there is a princess on the throne and a main character looking dude standing near the dark throne. So is he like the spiritual embodiment of the... Oh, there's one boob size. Check it off. Then we got the big ones. Got the big bouncing bazongas. Oh, he's got a big stupid sword. Oh, he's got a little baby sword as well. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Oh, they're walking in different directions, and their swords kind of intersect. Because they're actually kind of, like, destined to be 2 sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm. And a kind of a destined, but also star-crossed at the same time romance. Fuck. Oh, no, that face. No. Oh, God. Gonna just sunrise pose it. All right. Oh, he gains wings. They both gain wings. I thought that was just a little touch. Oh, and they're fighting together or they're fighting against each other? I can't tell. Okay. I assume together. Because they're reaching out for each other and stuff. Wait. Wait. Really? Really, though? That shot, though. You can put main boy's black sword and main girl's, like, whitish bluish sword right next to each other and pan up to the sky? I know what that's from. That's not okay. You can't just rip off Sword Art Online and then make it good. It doesn't... Alright. Hello, main boy, but you're not a hero yet. Jeez, the clearance on that sword through that door was tight. I mean, tight. Probably intentional. Okay. We're sending you off on a vision quest? No, you're going hunting. So our village is... Oh, okay. I thought they were just sending him off alone to go hunt for the entire village, which was like, what? The floating cities. Great. So we've got a social divide. Oh, God. Monsters. Thank you, Dead Man Walking. With a fez. It's the fez that really sells it. Yeah, with our hose and pitchforks, we got this. All right, this can go one of two ways. Either it's just this is the norm, or everybody in the village gets brutally murdered right now, except for the children that come with him. Oh, it looks like we're going with option 2. I like it. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, that voice. Is that Tanjiro? It's not, right? I'm actually not sure. I think it might be. Also, okay. Can we talk about the audio mixing? Okay, this is the cell. Alright. Amazing. I mean, it's not. It's pretty straightforward, but Jesus. So that's the cell. Hey, our world is hardcore. We didn't show any blood, but our world is hardcore. Trust us. There's danger here. Stakes, tension. Nice. Nicely done. Oh yeah, everybody's dead. Great, perfect. But the monsters don't care. They're not like feeding on them. They just do this because they do this. Okay, I'm fine with that. I've already lost all suspension of disbelief. I don't care. But I'm enjoying this, so we're gonna keep watching. Is there something wrong with my volume? No, I'm sitting at 100% in VLC. It's just that all of the oh, he's mass burying everybody? Yeah. Okay, yeah, alright. Okay, so sure, yeah. I've lost everything. Dude, protagonist boy, you are a hell of a contortionist to be able to shit on yourself that much. God damn. Oh my god. Can you speak up a little bit? I know you're grieving the loss of everybody you've ever known, but like, can you speak up? Or at least mix the audio track for the voice actors a little bit further up in the mix? Please? Where did he get that? Wait, no, wait. You telling me he was carrying around an unprotected baguette in the rain? I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. We don't have saran wrap. That wasn't in a Ziploc. Skiers. Oh, and the rain lets up. Oh, we're gonna sit here edgy boy boys. Oh no. Mm. I don't know. Uh-huh. Oh my god. Alright. He just does it? Yeah, he just does it. Alright. Basically leapt at the opportunity. How about strong enough to become the king? Alright, he did the daring move. Oh. I'm bored. Trying to force a really fast character development into like choice to answer the call to adventure, or pushing it all so fast. There it is. All right. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Are you about to die? Are you about to die? Are you gonna just float into dust? Oh shit, no, he's just dying. Okay. Well, that's convenient. So you went wandering out into the wastes to die and or potentially stumble on a possible random successor that just happened to be there? Alright, sure, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm, yeah, but you will. Oh, we're gonna drop. You remind me of myself too. How many? How many? Cliches. How many? A lot. I mean, yeah, probably. Okay. Oh, we're 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 we're, we're zeppelining it, I guess. I don't know. All right. Bye, mentor figure. It was nice to meet you for like 5 minutes. Have you impart your wisdom and then give us a motivation and then immediately die. Jesus. I mean, you could try. White in the sky, black on earth. All right. Oh, monsters. Oh, there's main girl. She's doing the big magics. Whoa. Cool. Oh, the music's still going. There's still a threat. Oh, it's the same swarm. It's the same one. So he changed his name from Pius to wow, that's not good. It's odd that that cut caught my attention. I'm gonna write it down. 1435. That cut caught my attention more than the CG soldiers. Yikes. That is not how you the background animation. It's not how you do it. But okay. And that's what she said. Just casually flies around a city. That's cool. Okay. Gonna stare off into the sunset. I thought he said Leo. Alright, sure. Okay, so attacks come in relatively predictable waves. Oh boy. Let me just casually introduce my purpose as a playable character. I'm here for the support magic. Airi-sama. Alright. Yeah, polish that sword. Well, that'll change. Alright. Who's that? Who is that? I don't know who that is. Oh, here's the swordsman we're supposed to meet. You're probably standing right outside of it. Yeah, you're standing right outside of it. He did. Gave me sword, told me to find you. Oh no. Maybe ask the question, then hit him with the superpowered attack. Alright, there we go. Cool. We lords now. We noble. Why? Why did we do that, Eizouken? Whoa, what was that for? What? What? Hmm. That seems like some bullshit. But okay. Okay, so leadership is at fault. Gotcha. I'm pretty sure you're right. I kinda doubt it. Okay. What? What was that? I don't really care. Alright, blue and red. Black and white. Imagery. Contrast. Hey, we're done. Alright? Okay. We're done. Actually, so far the ED's nice, but I'm done. I'll wait for the drop. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, okay. I had good fun making fun of this episode right until like here. Right around the midpoint is when it started to just like I went from having fun laughing at the goofy things that it was doing and still kind of enjoying where it was going with its ridiculousness, um, into I just do not care throughout all of this second segment that's focused mostly on the side of light and whatever. I just don't care. I don't know what it is about the way it's all introduced. Actually, I kind of do. We get this sort of nonsense contextless battle sequence where she just fights off waves of enemies, and then I guess that's not enough, and then we get the CG fighty sequence where they fight off more enemies, and then we get this one odd cut where the image for her is actually a much smaller drawn image that they've gone ahead and blown up, and you can tell because of the artifacting all over it, and nothing else in the entire episode looks anything like this, and this is one of those things that I wrote down because it's just ridiculous. Like, okay, look at the clarity of the lines on this frame, or the clarity of the lines on this frame, or the clarity of the lines on that frame, or that frame, whatever. Then we can go to this frame, and you can see there's a little bit of a something problem here. Something problem? Jesus, I can't speak. There's a little bit of an issue here. This is drawn much smaller. In fact, I think it's drawn, like, this size, and then blown up. That's just fucking lazy. That's just fucking lazy. But it's also a super duper nitpicky level nitpick, and it doesn't matter for the like whole feel of the show. And then there was another thing. I don't know what it was. I wrote down 40 seconds. I don't know why. I actually don't know why I wrote down 40 seconds. What the fuck was I doing? All right. Maybe it was 140? I forget what I was supposed to be looking at in that moment. Okay, but then there is this, which is just weird. SAO, 2 swords. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they did it in the one, and then they did it in the Alicization. They've done it multiple times, and it's this. It's like the same. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, I need to stop getting bogged down in nitpicky, weedy details because they don't matter that much. There's one really positive thing that I can say about this episode, to the point where it's so much of this one trait that it might actually be to the detriment of that of the episode. And that trait, I would say, is efficiency. Efficiency in storytelling is something that we talk about. Sometimes we usually talk about it in like in more broader, vague terms like the pacing or the flow from scene to scene or things like that. That's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about straight up narrative efficiency built into the storyboard and the script. This is a very efficient narrative start. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. So we start off because we have a lot of information to cover. That's our like starting off problem for the first episode of what will be an RPG with an expansive world and lots of characters and differences on sides and blah 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 blah. So, core things that we need to do, we need to establish the like base framework of this world, which we get in the first like 20 seconds. There's a light city and they float around and they're all angels and stuff, kind of. And then there's Hell on Earth, which is dark and gloomy and awful. And that one's ruled by the white cat and this one's ruled by the black cat. And then their power has somehow transcended to become monarchies or dynastic things that keep things going. All right, sure. Sure, I can work with that. That's how it all began. Efficient. Really straightforward and efficient. Then we get the OP, which kind of doesn't count in terms of the narrative, but it also kind of counts because it lets you know what you're in for, and it sort of introduces you to what these characters are going to be and who they're going to be in the story. So, start off, we essentially transition from the cats in the cities to the floating city. All right, it's the floating city. We know where we are. We ground that in an establishing shot, jump in, show the princess, eyes hidden on the throne. So, doubt is how I would describe this phrase. She's in a position of power, but she's entirely alone, and she's in doubt. She doesn't know whether what she's supposed to do is actually what she's supposed to do. Okay? And then we turn over here, and we have other mirroring establishing shot moving the other direction. Right? It is moving the other direction, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so both of hers are moving to the right, both of his are moving to the left. Cool. Solid visual language. But he's standing next to the throne, which is different. He is, like, unwillingly taking on this authority, but he doesn't actually sit in the chair. Doesn't want to be a figurehead. All right, sure. And his eyes are covered, so we don't get that much about him. But he does make emotion. He actually emotes. And this is weird to say because we can't see his eyes, so there's not much that's conveyed. But he actually emotes in this moment. Whereas she is just sort of static, I think. Let me watch again. Yep, she's just static. He looks up. Bing! Because that's where his eyes are pointed. His goal is the sky. He's moving upward in the world. Pretty simple, right? All right, and then there's this thing. I don't know what it is. All right, justice and balance. Most importantly, balance, darkness and light. Sure, whatever. And then there's the plenty of like yin yang-esque imagery with the black and white and all that stuff. Great. And then there's this guy who's just something else. I don't know what he is. We get a nonsensical flurry of fights and blowy things. It's kind of gross, actually. This whole sequence is kind of gross. This is kind of ugly. I think it's because we're just trying to mask not putting that much effort into the animation by having all of these effects going on at the same time. But come on. But come on. All right. And then we put a bunch of emphasis on Gynaxing the fuck out of that. Like, what? Come on. And I'm fine with the Gynaxing. Come on. This is in 2003. Come on. What are you doing? All right, title drop. It's kind of meh. Got a big sword. Got another sword. Just got lots of swords. Then we do our character flyby. Show all these people. Show that guy who I think is the guy who he was fighting in the sequence that I thought was ugly. Cool. Is that the current King of Darkness or whatever? I don't know. And then they're walking in opposite directions, but they're still walking, and that sort of implies that they're walking toward each other to meet in the middle. Whoa! Okay. Black and white, yin and yang. Terrible face. We spin our characters around each other, circling around the object of power. Terrible face. That's what? What? What is that expression supposed to be? I don't know. Okay, some wings open. We find out that they're actually wings. And then we essentially transition from this scene in the OP straight into the scene with her fighting off of essentially this exact cliff, which is weird. And then he's got black demony wings, and they both got wings. They're flying together, and they seem to be fighting together for a common goal. And they're reaching out toward each other, and romance is implied. And we get this scene which just blatantly rips off the SAO thing, which I don't mind that much, but I also mind it a lot. Like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, like, what? Come on. All right, come on. You can be a little bit more original than that. Just a little bit. All right, whatever. So yeah, we jump essentially from there straight into here to her fighting darkness to all right, I refuse to surrender the progenitor rune. There is darkness spreading. Monsters attack them. The sword is there. He picks it up. Oh, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I just find this very funny. There's like a millimeter of clearance between the doorway and the sides of his sword, based on the way he's slung it across his lower back, and I just find that very funny. That like that's how this world is designed, so that he could just perfectly barely fit through the doorway if he's walking in the direct center of it. And he doesn't lean to either side. Otherwise, clunk. I love it. I love it. It's so dumb. All right, and then we get our first real taste of what backgrounds in this show look like, particularly the floor, and they're ugly. They are ugly, my friend. They do not look good. They are ugly. So is he, but I mean, it's fine. Whatever. I don't mind his character design too much. It's kind of bullshit, but like whatever. He's a main character. Of course, his design is going to be bullshit. So we get introduced to Dead 1, Dead 2, and Dead 3, and you can tell that they don't matter because they don't actually have any distinguishing features besides, like, the mustache, which is a ridiculous mustache, and the fez. So Fez Boy, I was certain was dead, because he kind of isn't the nicest to Main Boy. All right, and then our protag starts actually thinking, and that's where the problems start, because, oh, geez. I do need to look up who the protagonist is. It's not listed on Mal, but, I can find it on ANN, probably. Shironeko Project ANN. I really want to know who the fuck he is. Who are you? Who are you? Oh, it's Yuki Kaji. That's who it is. Okay, I knew he sounded familiar. I'm just bad with voice actors. That's fine. Cool. Sure. Great. All right. It's Yuki Kaji. Neato. Oh, and then who else was I wondering? Oh, the girl, the Queen of Light, is Yui Horie. Who do I recognize her as? I don't know. I don't know. She sang the theme song of Maho Girls Precure. Of Mahotsukai Precure. She is a main character in it, right? Yeah, she's Cure Magical. Okay. She is also Tsubasa Hanakawa. Oh. Oh, okay. Cool. That's probably where I recognize her from. That's most likely. I'm just going to leave that be and move on. All right. So at 2 minutes and 52 seconds, Protag Boy starts thinking and talking, and that's where our problems start. But we still have some efficiency to get through. So let's efficiently get through the efficiency. Oh, he's actually not talking here. It's that his society is talking to him, and he's like, geez, I live in a society. Oh boy. All right. Then monsters attack inexplicably out of nowhere. Literally moments after we started heading out. Efficient. Things just happen. The important things for the story to continue just like bam, they're happening. They just keep happening. It's great. Like, imagine if you were a documentary filmmaker trying to film a documentary about these events. You're like walking around in this world, and Main Boy just like walks out of his house, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna document the rise of the great king. And he immediately the village gets attacked by monsters. What a stroke of luck. That's so great. It's almost like somebody wrote it to be that way. Who'da thunk? Crazy. All right, so Main Boy is told to grab a group of, I think, 3 kids. Yep, 3 kids. And run the fuck away, and then some CG cats attack. Actually, I'm not sure that they're CG. They are at some point, I think. Oh, right. Oh, right. There's this scene. Let's watch it. Oh, and I'm dead. And I'm dead. It's over. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. All right. So I had a question at about this point. Once Main Boy starts running with the kids, there are 2 ways that this can go. Either the villagers are kind of used to this. Monster attacks are an everyday part of life. We clearly have like spiked posts and things. We've got defenses. We're used to dealing with this. Or it's the noise attacking, and everybody's gonna fucking die, and it's gonna be brutal and wonderful. I was really hoping for answer 2, because come on. They delivered, kind of, sort of, halfway. Halfway. The monsters attack, they kill everybody in the village. Main Boy gets out with the kids, for the most part. Except for this little goober who doesn't know how to run. So, whoops. Okay. Where did that come from? How did it get there without us noticing? I don't know. So we immediately charge in, try to fight it, fail miserably, get the kid taken. The kid essentially pulls a go on without me moment. Yeah. Oh, okay, no, I missed some things. That's fine. So the kid pulls a I'll hold them off with tears in his eyes. Right, sure. And gets eaten because duh. And then he just sort of looks sadly at our protagonist, is like, go, I did this for you. Alright, so you know how in Kimetsu no Yaiba, Tanjiro goes from like a happy young boy to like, oh shit, this world is hard, by the end of the first episode because his whole family gets murdered by demons? Spoilers for episode 1 of Kimetsu no Yaiba. If you didn't know, it's about a boy whose family gets murdered by demons, so he goes and kills demons. And there's more to it, but... Right, so that takes the whole episode. And it's like pretty nicely fleshed out. Going through the experience of like seeing the horrifying blood and guts and gore, and suddenly coming to the realization that like your world fucking sucks and you might want to do something about it. Uh, our character has that whole arc occur to him in the course of like 5 real-time minutes. He's just minding his own business, going hunting with the village. Boom, monster cats attack. Boom, everyone in his village is dead. Boom, he is tasked with saving 3 children and fails. One of the kids themselves actually saves him. Amazing. That is just so efficient. It's so efficient. That's not to say that it's good. All right? That we gotta draw that dividing line immediately. Efficient does not mean good. It just means efficient. It just means lots of things we are finding out that we need to know. We are finding out lots of things that we need to know very quickly. And we are putting our character into a position where they can actually embark on their story very quickly. And that's kind of hilarious because it's very obvious that it's happening and it's funny. I think. All right. So the sky is red as crimson because symbolism, and then we return to our village to find that the crimson is not only in the sky. However, there is no actual blood shown, which is a bit unfortunate. Because we're going for this sort of grimdark reality where life is pain and suffering on the mortal plane of existence, unless you're heaven blessed to be in one of the floating cities where everything is great and you've got a cute like teenage angel who is your queen. Nah, welcome to shitland where everything is shit. I feel like a little bit of blood and gore could have gone a long way to making this aesthetic kind of feel the way that it's supposed to. But I guess we're going for a particular rating. Let me see. What's this rated? It's not. Okay, never mind. I assume we're going for a particular rating so that we can maintain the kids' audience because it's a big audience, and yeah, sure. This is not a show that's meant to be scrutinized the way that I'm scrutinizing it. And I completely understand that, but it's still fun. Okay, so before he actually picks up the sword, he puts the girl down, and she never reappears, does she? Okay, I just realized that character disappears, doesn't she? Wait. Wait. So he takes 3 children off into the wilderness to run away from the threat. They get attacked by a centipede. Both of the male children get dead by the centipede. One of them sacrificing himself so that main boy and his sister can like run along. Main boy runs his sister to a cave where he seems safe, waits there for a little bit, returns that night to their village with the little girl, who is still unconscious, leaves her on the floor, begins digging a pit, and we never see her again. He is walked up upon while digging a pit by mentor dude, who then fights him for reasons, gives him his sword, gives him his mission, tells him to get the fuck out of here, and the next time we see him, he has summarily gotten the fuck out of here and has moved to the big city. What happened to the girl? Is she just like laying there unconscious on the ground? How often do monsters come by? Did you just like leave them a snack? Really? Okay. Okay. Look, oh, all right, sure. Okay, so we do this rack focus onto the hoe. Yeah, and he picks it up with resolve and clenched fists. All right, sure, great. What does he say? Does he say I have a short rest? I'll have a short rest. Yes, DM, please. 1 hour. Restore key points. Get second wind back. Roll some hit dice. All right, I'm sorry. He looks like a paladin, so I don't know. Maybe just restore hit dice. Do you get your divine whatever you call it back on a short rest? I think you do. Okay, so I said it preemptively. I said, oh, this is where main character boy starts thinking and talking, and that's where we have a problem. I said it preemptively. That's not really when it happened. That was mostly like the society around him being like, we live in a society. Now that he no longer lives in a society because everybody's dead, he's, oh boy, does he go down the pit, pun intended, of being really fucking edgy. It's bad. And the I'm gonna have a hard time dialing in what it is particularly about his lines that irks me so much, because it's not that they're edgy, and that's beyond that. It's a not very useful categorical like genre umbrella term. Not genre, umbrella term that's about as useful as genre categorizations often are. It's not. To call something edgy is just like, oh, it's edgy. What does that mean? Is Berserk edgy because it's like dark and there's gore and stuff? What is SAO edgy because Kirito? What does that mean? All right, let's try and break down this particular incarnation of the edgy boy protagonist, because edgy boy protagonists are everywhere. It's a pretty common criticism of a lot of shows. You're gonna look at a lot of isekai shows in particular, or fantasy type things, and just be like, yeah, all right, protagonist and edgy boy, I'm not into it, or I am, because tons of people are into that. Some people will say like, oh, Kira from Death Note, total edgy boy. Lelouch, total edgy boy. I mean, yeah, duh. I don't know, sort of, kind of. But what I'm getting at here is that it's not a very useful descriptor, nor is it a very useful criticism. And here I'd like to criticize, and I'd like to do it in hopefully a useful way. So let's talk about what our boy actually says. Now, we've got a sense of his current mental state, right? He has just run away from his entire village getting murdered. He was helpless against it. He was given the task of protecting 3 children and effectively failed miserably, having allowed 2 of them to die and left a third one as like just an offering to the gods of monsters in case they want to swing by for a midnight snack. Yeah, he's not doing so good at the moment. His shit sucks. My initial impression was, oh, he's digging a fucking mass grave. That is his goal, right? He's digging a big pit so that he can gravify this shit. I'm wrong there. As far as I can tell, he's already buried everybody. I think that's what these mounds in the dirt are supposed to be. These are mounds with like very intentionally placed posts. I didn't notice that until right now. But no, he's already buried everybody. That's done. Is done. I still don't know where the little girl is, but apparently we don't care. Okay, cool. I was told that there's a village nearby. Yeah, not anymore. It's gone. All right, so hair over the eyes, rain's coming down. I'm just digging a hole. All right, moving on. And what are you doing here? Digging a hole. What does it look like? All right, and then it comes down to, now that we know it's Yukikaji, it comes down to Yukikaji's delivery. Ikenaika. Are you gonna persecute me for digging this hole? Gosh. What do you want? Are you going to keep digging? Basically nothing that Mentor Man is saying actually goes into either of his ears. And he's just like, he's being edgy for the sake of being edgy, so that we know that he's sad. Oh yeah, I forgot about the baguette. There's another one of those little nitpicks that really doesn't matter, but it's pretty ridiculous once you actually like go through the logic of it. All right, we got a man in full plate armor. It probably doesn't have pockets, right? Do we see satchels and stuff on him? Nope. Nope. He doesn't seem to be carrying anything on his belt at all. Okay. Mystery of the season. Where'd the baguette come from? Because if it was outside the armor, it would be mush. If it was inside the armor, it would be mush. It's raining. Where'd the baguette come from? It's a conspiracy, you guys, I swear. Baguette Truthers 2020. Alright. Okay, so he's questioning all his shit and being the edgiest boy. He needs the baguette. Great. And then the rain dries up because, yeah, we can have a conversation now. We take ourselves an edgy pose. Oh, sorry, I'm still using edgy to describe everything, but I shouldn't be. And then we start asking questions. Doesn't the King of Darkness rule this country? Okay, if he's actually powerful, then why does he let monsters everywhere? Because it sucks, and that's probably like a bad king move. The fuck? And he sort of deflects the answer, which makes sense later. Is the king concerned about the right things? What do you think the right things are? We're bantering back and forth philosophically, but it's so faux. It's so thin. Alright, so what about this is edgy? Or comes off that way? Or comes off that way to me in particular? Because it might not to you, and that's fine. The whole edgy thing is so nebulous that it might as well be entirely subjective. Okay. Here we have naive boy who knows nothing, but wants to change things. That's like step one. That's like step one. I could do a better job ruling the universe. Okay, sure. And then we couch all of that in this sort of vague, pretentiously philosophical form, I guess? I don't know. Is the king concerned about the right things? I wonder. What are the right things? Everyone being happy, he just answers without hesitation. There's another edgy thing here. It's the extreme, I guess I would call it something that I actually praise in a lot of shows, which is radical idealism. I like radical idealism. It's one of the things that separates fiction from nonfiction. Characters who believe they can do it and do it. It's nice. It feels good. Likewise, characters with big umbrella overarching goals that are maybe not entirely possible. Those can be nice. They can be nice, and they can start off a character in a place of naivete. What's good about this is that he gets slapped the fuck down for it, which is kind of great. So he says, yeah, everyone being happy, and our immediate response is, how superficial. He gets kind of smacked up for it, and I kind of like that. All right, how long will you keep digging? You're going to keep doing this your whole life? You fucking suck, Jesus. And then we get this moment where... Okay... in the flowery poetic world of symbolism and kind of metaphor, this sort of works, man. Like, if you just dig deep enough, man, you could reach the sky, man. Dude, just like keep digging. There's nowhere to go but up eventually. Woo! But it's also ridiculous bullshit, and I think the problem for me is that I'm not convinced that our boy is mentally broken enough to think that this would work, nor am I convinced that he's, like, in a state where, I don't know, man. Okay, he's not mentally broken enough to actually believe that he's going to dig a hole to the sky, right? But he's also not quite coherent enough to be like, I'm acting out a metaphor for because of my damage that I just experienced and I don't know what else to do, which is probably what we're supposed to be taking from this. But it's also got this whole air of like, no, but this is actually destiny, man. Like this is the real shit. Just dig a hole. Eventually bright light will shine from the darkest holes. Oh no, it shines into the depths of the darkest holes. Okay, that's actually a little bit better than my first interpretation. My apologies. But the first line that he says is deep enough to reach the sky, as though the sky will appear through it. And then sometimes bright light shines into the... Okay, yeah. I read this as shines from the depths of darkest holes. Like, you're just going to uncover something, and then, like, light's going to spill forth? Like, what? And actually, after reading that and thinking that's what the line was, I was kind of half expecting him to just, like, randomly uncover an object that was, like, an artifact of power and give him his powers, because that would be just the right kind of bullshit cliche stuff that would make sense here. But no. Instead, we introduce mentor character, and he continues saying other shit. There's no point. Sure. Everyone's the same when you're in a hole. Great. My problem with all of these vaguely idealist statements, vague philosophy behind them, is that they don't actually mean anything. They don't really motivate any particular course of action except for digging holes, apparently. They're nothing. They're hot air and grudges and grief and, like, damage. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's intentional, and maybe I'm criticizing it incorrectly, because that's the point. We're supposed to be seeing, here's our edgy boy protagonist, he sucks. He doesn't fucking understand how the world works, and doesn't understand how to change it. Meet mentor guy who actually does understand how to change it, but no longer has the capability to. Mentor guy passes along the capability to the person who wants to do it, but can't really pass along the knowledge, just a little bit of it, just like bits and pieces. Okay. That actually kind of makes sense. I'd kind of prefer to read it that way, although it gives me less fodder to like chew on and make fun of in the show. I think that's probably the intended reading, and probably what we're trying to do here is, like, we're maybe not supposed to agree with Edgy Boy Protag's initial statements about, like, the world. We're supposed to be like, bruh, you're digging a hole. Shit sucks. And then we're supposed to be mentor guy and be like, oh, this is the thing that changes everything. All right. Mentor guy thinks like we do, that Edgy Boy is a goober who doesn't know anything. Yeah, I'll teach you how to improve things without digging holes. Throws him the sword, he kind of immediately picks it up, and then later is like, why'd you make me do this? What? Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, you're implying to get strong enough to protect people from monsters. Nope, that's not what I'm going for. Your life has no value. But he holds back. And sure. Lesson learned? Okay. It was just a whim. And he immediately catches on to that and is like, that's not nice. Who gave you the right to decide? Nobody. That's power. That's what power is, man. That's how this world works. But you're not the king. Nope. Nope, not the king. And then we say some other lines to each other that are just kind of boring. Yeah, he kind of snaps it out of him. Glimpse an ideal, reach out and grasp it, go and do it, and this causes him to yell the thing where he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Sure, whatever, man. At which point, he suddenly becomes an expert swordsman and best sold man. or it is conveniently revealed at this point that Old Man is not intentionally holding back. He's actually, you know, dramatically weakened state, although there's no evidence of blood or injury. He just sort of collapses. Okay. I'm too old. All right. Cool. Here, take my family's fortune and also my sword. Go meet Valis boy. Go meet Valis, and he will train you further. My mission as your mentor is done for now. Woobity-doo, doobity-doo, doobity-doo. Again, we're talking about efficiency. Shock. Jesus Christ. We have introduced and killed off our mentor figure in 12 minutes, minus the OP. Christ. Introduce main character. Tear him from his comfortable, we don't really know how his existence was, but compared to how it is now, his comfortable existence. Shock him to his core. Make him broken and willing to change. Sure. And also reveal to him all of the horrible things that go on in his world that maybe he could change if he actually had some power. Introduce mentor character, literally out of nowhere, just walks out of the fog. Mentor character happens to be on a particularly important quest at the very end of his life. He is literally dying today. Like, it's implied that he's going to collapse and die today, no matter what. He just happens on his last day of existence to stumble upon a random boy digging a hole and strike up a conversation with him that happens to be vaguely philosophical and happens to indicate to him that, hey, maybe this boy would be a good candidate for taking on my duty that I can no longer fulfill and slaying and or becoming the Dark King. So we fight him and test him, and he proves worthy. So then we die and give him our sword, send him off on a mission, and we're done. That's a lot. 12 minutes, that's a lot. That's too much. It's very efficient, but that doesn't mean it's good. Oh, all right. We also have to drop some cliches like, you remind me of me, and that's why I'm putting my faith in you. All right, sure. I don't know what the fuck he says when he's dying here. Rest not only in light, but in dark. I don't know, man. The world is not right. Change it in your reign. All right, sure. And then he just gets some glowing powers. Okay. Stares up the sky. Reaffirms that his initial naive idealistic goal is kind of still with him. But he actually kind of has a path to maybe making it happen, sort of, but it'll be more complicated than that, but I really don't care. Okay, sure. World Zero Chronicle is like an hourglass. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. Got waves of CG enemies, and this is where the episode completely fell apart for me. I desperately do not care because we are introduced to this conflict right in the middle of it, and I don't care about these characters. Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum. So, she blows up one wave, returns to the place. Oh no, there are more! Knights get to fight. We see some CG knights and some CG dragon monster things. Alright, sure. This guy is named Fias because his name is actually Pius. Okay. He's devoted. Do you get it? It's because he's devoted. Get some CG knights. They don't irk me too much. Yeah, they don't irk me too much. I mean, they're obvious, but they don't irk me too much. This irks me. This irks me. That was lazy. I don't like it. Alright, so she's doing support magic, casting defensive barriers on everybody and stuff. The queen just flies around town, casually. That's cool. How is his armor so shiny? Looks like it's disconnected from his body. It's very weird. Alright, whatever. Are they siblings? Because little boy calls them both like One-chan and Oni. Or One-san. I don't know. And we do some exposition and character introductions. Characters just being like, I'm the leader of the knights. I'm the support mage and also other things. Alright, sure. Cool. We don't have as much of a huge sprawling cast as I was kind of expecting, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. We have some more conversations that I don't care about. And then we introduce some of this, like, doubting stuff for Queen Iris. Am I really doing the right thing? What will I really do? Yeah, okay. Sure. We arrive here. I don't know what those are supposed to be. They're weird. Immediately, your sword is noticed. If you were going... How will you ever get through a doorway? That sword is bigger than your first sword. We know the specs on all the doorways in this universe. They're just big enough for your original dinky sword. Now that you've upgraded to your less dinky swords, you cannot fit through doorways if you wear the sword like that. This is just physics. This is how it works. Ah! You're gonna have to fucking crab walk through every doorway. Amazing. Alright, so we get fought by Valis. Until we realize that he's Valis, and then he lets us in. Then we have some more conversations about some stuff. Apparently they fought for the crown at one point, or the right to rule at one point, and she won, but she's not bitter. That's nice. And then there's this thing that apparently, like, once you become the king, everything about the previous king is just gone from history, including in everyone's memory. Weird. Curious. I don't care enough to care. But curious. Weird. Accumulation isn't necessary to acquire balance. Odd coming from a gacha game adaptation of all things, where the whole point is accumulation. But okay. Sure. And then she says some predictive things like, oh yeah, there are people too on the other side. It's really just a few bad apples in the leadership that are causing all the problems. Right, sure. And then I'm sure in the next king's reign, peace and balance will be preserved once more. I'm sure it will. But also, you could be forgotten in the process. Okay, sure. We got some doubts. We got some things. Stinger ending on... Oh god, Baal is attacking. Alright, sure. That doesn't mean anything to me. He's a giant Oni. Mech. Looks like a fucking Code Geass mech. But he's a demon Oni. What? Alright. Okay, so I've spent way too much time talking about this first episode, and the reason is pretty simple. I found it kind of fascinating. I think it's generally pretty competently put together as an episode. I do not care for some of the writing going on here, and I think that the emphasis on very quickly introducing our core elements of what is sure to be a relatively complicated setting, not necessarily a complicated story, but a relatively complicated setting. We've got sides of a conflict. There's this third party of the darkness monsters that we don't know what those are yet, or if they're like, are they from the King of Darkness? Does everybody fight them? They're fighting them up in the sky cities, and they're fighting them on Earth. Like, what's going on? The rules of like challenging for the throne type of stuff. Essence of magic power, introduce a mentor character, kill the mentor character, have our main character brought low by events that are essentially out of his control, and use that as the motivation, the springboard for him wanting more control so that he can actually control events around him and ensure that people don't die. Set him on his mission, introduce sort of the end game or the goal point, which is the other side kind of, and finally having some kind of meeting between them. Yep, that's the episode. We do a lot of stuff. And all of it is just barely okay. Just barely. But all of it together, I think is too much. I think it's just too much. So, Shironeko Project, Zero Chronicle. Not what I expected. I could have never expected this. I found this to be a very interesting first episode. Lots of flaws. Period. End statement. Lots of flaws. It's okay. That's okay. I'm pretty confident that this is going to be one of those shows that a fair number of people are going to watch this season. They'll be like, yeah, this is all right. I'll watch this. It's kind of junk food entertainment. It's not great, but yeah, I'm sure some people will be into this. I just found it kind of bleh. Just kind of bleh. Okay, I guess that'll be a wrap because I'm out of things to talk about. This was Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle. I have talked way too much about it. It was weird. It was a weird one. I can't say that I like it very much. I don't. Ugh. Alright, I'll watch something else next. Peace.